Welcome to today's webinar. So today's topic is identity is now the front line of the cyber attacks, why attackers log in, and how to stop them. I'm a speaker, Kenneth Low, CISSP, Technical Director of Version 2 Singapore Private Limited. So let's start it. So attackers nowadays is not breaking in. They are logging in. Why? Because they stole your credential. So modern breach start with a valid credential. No, they don't need to break into your firewall, bypass your ADR. But of course, those patching and protection still matter. But identity becomes the primary attack surface, not your SaaS itself, not your server itself, not your firewall network, but your user and application identity. Don't forget about application identity. So the shift is from breaking in into logging in. So how it works? In old days, or not just old days, it's just maybe previous year, last year, or earlier days. Most of the attackers are exploiting your vulnerabilities, no matter your web application, your endpoint, your firewall, whatever it is. Then they drop malware, trigger alerts, and more network centrics, and they scan through your network, find out any targets. Now they shift to stealing your credential, abusing your legitimate account and access, and buying in as a user. So it is more identity centric. So there's some figures and numbers that we can share last year. So there's no longer a niche problem. So 22% of all breaches start with a stolen or compromised credential. So it is the largest single vector. So compared with vulnerabilities, compared with others, breaking in or any others, loophole, firewall settings issue, whatever. So around 30% of intrusion are identity based. So over 53 billions of identity records exposed globally, and 1.8 billion credentials stolen from those 5.8 million devices while info stealing in one single year. So 65% of breaches account already having MFA enabled. So don't just think that, okay, maybe turning on MFA will be safe from those identity attacks. The answer is no. Some more headlines that we can remind us how serious and what does it do for the identity attacks. So Microsoft 365 accounts, around 1 million being compromised using MFA bypass and phishing kits. So they use phishing technique, MFA bypassing techniques to steal your credential and make use of it. And 16 billion exposed login records discovered in the public database. So that means so many potential accounts that can be abused. And 183 million email password leak in a single breach data set. So one single data breach, it contains more than 100 millions of email and accounts and password is being leaked. So with some MFA bypass, they definitely can log in to your email and do lots of email password reset for many other systems. Then you can imagine how many things they can do. And credential stuffing is attacks targets finance and as SaaS platform globally. So there's so many identity-centric attacks as so many email accounts or system accounts be exposed in the dark web or internet that hackers can make use of. So why MFA alone is failing? So there's a few common MFA bypass technique. You can study it, you can test it internally, but don't try to any third party without any consents. Yeah, this is illegal. Just a fair warning. But anyway, it's fun, right? So that is first of all, it's not something created by attackers. It's building up naturally. Is the MFA fatigue, because so many systems that we are using, and they are maybe separate systems, and they have a separate, even they may share the same email address, same account, but the MFA or yeah, and a single OTP mechanism has been different. So nowadays, some maybe administrators, network admin, or system administrators, they have hundreds of MFA credentials set up in the phone. And most of them, to make it easy, enable push notification. So they may have to click on allow, and allow again. Sometimes they forgot and maybe not that conscious, and allow some push notification from attackers, not oneself. That's what is about the MFA fatigue. People just click. It's too clumsy, right? So we just click, allow, go ahead. So that's one of the reason why MFA fail. And there's others like SIM swapping attacks. So on your phone, swap your SIM, and then direct the SMS or others. And we have some reverse proxy phishing and real-time token thefts to steal your MFA and cookies. So cookie hijack and OAuth abuse, that we can replay the URL or whatever, so we can bypass MFA. So that's why MFA is not the solutions. But of course, it doesn't mean you need not to turn it on, because that will be even worse without MFA. Just saying that we cannot rely on MFA alone. So also the AI will change a lot. The AI changed the economy of text, and really that is scaled so very fast, scale up very fast with the AI assist. First of all, phishing become much more easier with an AI generated phishing email, even some deepfake technology that create fake videos, and AI can help to do automations, credential testing, harvesting, brute force attack. All stuff can be making use of AI. And also we can have a behavior replay that we can detect and make right your behavior, that can bypass some behavioral detections. And it greatly reduced the attack cycle, because many of the repeating tasks, many of those tasks that spend lots of time to improve, that can be using AI to improve it. So it greatly shortens the life cycle of an attacks. So it becomes from days to minutes. So why traditional security is this? Why we cannot defend with existing on-prem or traditional defense? Because first of all, nothing goes wrong. Nothing looks wrong, because the attacker using your administrator accounts, using your boss email, manager email address to sign in. So it looks legitimate. It looks fine. So most organizations have multiple identity, inconsistent MFA enforcement, no device trust validation, and rejoiner, mover, lever control. So there's a very weak onboarding and offboarding control, and limited visibility on access across different events. So because we have so many identity profile or mechanism in different application, we don't have a single pane of glass to see all the events that related to the same identity. And some may have already enabled NFA, some may enforce it, some is optional. That's create a problem because we cannot see everything in single times. And on the other hand, the login is legitimate. There's no exploit being used, and sometimes it's via on some trusted device, or at least this device you know. You should also not trust it. It's other story. It's talk about zero trust concept, but anyway, this device that you know, that you think it is trust and legitimate, right? And there's a allowed application. There's no malware there. It may be just a RDP access internally, or even just a command running, or even an SMB share that runs every single day. And the attacker acts as a normal user behavior. They try and pretend to be normal. That you can, that AI helps a lot. You just then write a script, something like the behavior and normal users. Don't try it for third party. You can try it internally. It has it. Anyway, so the real world root cause is fragment of identity environments. So most organization is having multiple identity source. It means even you have even you're still using Active Directory or using some identity like Google Workspace or M365 account, but the actual authentication process happens on those third-party applications. There's no centralized feedback and others, so there will be have a multiple source. And there's an inconsistent MFA enforcement, no device trust and validations. So just imagine if you're having a M365 account, or you've got 8 Active Directory, every computer is joined to the domain, you can log in with any users by default, right? So that can be a problem. And there's no control or process or workflow for new joiner, mover, or leaver. So, and also, in the way around, you have limited visibility across different events. So logging in the account mail and logging to your shared drive with LDAP or with Kerberos, you may not able to see in a single pane of glass. So when there's something strange happen, you may not know because it looks just fine individually, right? So security must start with identity. So we should have new assumptions. Okay, so if attackers log in, access control is the security boundary. What does it mean? What we can do achieve that? First of all, we should have a centralized identity. So every access or login should go through a single point of system. It doesn't mean a single point of failure because you can do HA or whatever SaaS application that can be strengthened, right? And we need strong authentication. We must have an MFA. We have a complex password. Even we have some context control. For example, if your company is just operate in APAC or ASEAN, usually you should block it with the access from US or from Europe. Of course, there is someone who's traveling for business or for vacation, but you're still able to handle it with some applications for like a vacation or leave or business trip. But at least by default, shouldn't allow there's a access that's out of your context of your business, right? And then we should do device trust. We only allow those trust device to using a credential, or your access or your SaaS application access should be launched from your trust device. So with that, you can minimize loss of account takeover starting from those SaaS platform. You have more control. Least privilege. So if the user shouldn't have admin right on the local computer, shouldn't give it. And if there's some SaaS application that the users shouldn't have privilege or access, just block it from it. And last but not least, I think it's the most important one is the continuous visibility. So we will know who, when, did what, and where it's from. So you can identify suspicious usage very quickly when you have a centralized identity and have a continuous visibility. So the modern approach is identity as a control panel. So there's a central control panel that control users, application, privilege, network, and device integrate together. So a user should have limitation or control on which application they can use, what kind of privilege they have, which sample level they should access, and which device they can log in. Not just have a credential login, then you can access everything on the device, any application, any privilege, and any networks. That shouldn't be like that anymore. It was a very, very old concept of on-prem or something internal that doesn't work anymore in current situation. So let's talk about introducing solutions on that. So we suggest people think about JumpCloud, which designed for a cloud-native identity platform. So with one single platform, you can manage all the users, applications, device, and networks. So we can help you to making stolen credential useless, because JumpCloud can first have a strong password policy. We have conditional access rules. It means even you have the credential, if you are accessed from a untrusted device, you still cannot log into, for example, M365. And we have a modern MFA enforcement. We can do passwordless access and centralize all the authentications for you. And trust device as a gate. So we access is not who, but also what. So JumpCloud validates which device you own and where device you have. Is your device really encrypted? Which OS and patch level? And we have is up to a compliance posture? Then we allow you to use a device to access our applications. And we also is giving a list privilege by device. So limit the blast of radius. So we have role-based access control. We're giving in just enough access. So for example, after you just create a user, if you don't assign a user to a certain device, who are not able to log in to those devices, even you have a valid account, no matter the account is created from JumpCloud, or you have integration account is for M365, or account is from Google Workspace or Active Directory, you just cannot access it. We block from it, and then after you assign that, okay, then you can access. Okay, and we have an automate lifecycle management on the new joiner, mover, and leaver. So the onboarding, offboarding, changing department, we have a full lifecycle control and automate it. So you will make your life easier when there's a newcomer, new joiner. you can imagine they may have a 50 SaaS application, 20 internal system, and then you have to create AD account, create M365 account or Google account. No need. You just create a one single account in JumpCloud, and you assign the privilege and application and device or what, a network or segment that they can access, then it will provision it for you without extra access. It's the same way if you move from department, you just switch from role, then the unwanted privilege will be removed, new privilege will be provisioned. So more important, as I said, we have a unified identity visibility that you can see how many login attempts, no matter it's from JumpCloud portal, from M365, from the computers, from the NAS or SaaS, wherever, we can see in the same pane of glass. And we have MFA challenges, so we can have a modern and secure MFA. Don't rely on it, and even on that. So as I said, and we monitor device postures. We can monitor the patch level updates, software on your endpoints and devices, and we help you to provision application access on the SaaS, and we support just in time to save some money, and we will have monitoring to see is there any policy violations, like the password doesn't change, or access is not from allowed, not disallowed country or time, all can be seen in our platform. So after adopting JumpCloud, that help you to for the identity control, you will change from detection to prevention, from old to new mindset. So traditionally, we would detect after breach, alert, and very fatigued, because if you ever take care about SIM or XDR or MDR, it will tons of logs that is to make your life very difficult. And more or less, you have to react a response. Of course, if you can monitor and react, that's really good already. But now we can do it one step further. So we go for identity first. We prevent and lock in. So we don't allow, we try to block those unauthenticate or unnecessary or the fake login. And we have a policy enforcement, and we have a proactive control. But of course, in the other way around, is there any really suspicious behavior? There is a breach. We still can see and react. You may simply stop, pause the account. That will pause all the access to your application, network, and device at a single click. So it is much faster to respond. On the other hand. So let's do a quick demo on the JumpCloud platform. Give me a second and I'll pause this share. Let me pull out the login site. So in between, if you have questions, please do type in your question or chat box. I will try to answer your questions right away. I need to do MFA again. Give me a second. PO. Oh, sorry. Okay, give me a second. We close some unnecessary tabs from the console. Okay, so we have a screen here. So this is the management console of JumpCloud. So we have a very clean interface that you can see. So you will see how many users, how many user group, how many managed device, how many management software, how many device policy. So when you go to get started, they will try to teach you how to provision account directories and install software to the clients to control the login access and security posture. So let's take a look for the user management. So we can create user here. So here is a JumpCloud user created by yourself, or you can integrate with Active Directory, Cloud Directory, HR directories, some HR applications, even identity providers. So you can use JumpCloud as an IDP and then synchronize with many cloud or Active Directory. Or on the other hand, you can make use other IDP as a source of identity. Then you use JumpCloud capability to integrate all sorts of application network and SaaS application for you. So this is a very flexible multi-way that you can do. But most of the case, we will integrate like M365 for workspace. So this is the source of the credential, but some of the user will make use JumpCloud as a core. So JumpCloud can be IDP for the email. Then you can use JumpCloud credentials to log in the email. Okay, so both ways works and also common. Then we will device. So for device is very simple. We don't have device for this demo site. Sorry about that. Then you can have a device. So for example, we support Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, and iPad or Android. So you can, if Windows, you just install a MSI software, you download it, or you can have a key. You can have a MSI installer, you install software that will be received by JumpCloud, and you start to manage. So what you can do on the device management. So you can run a command, you can do access management, you can see what is in the device, you can have some policy and software management. So what kind of policy you can do, like disable USB, enhance the password complexity, lock screen time, whatever that's most of the common device management you can do from those device policy. And you can see there's some common MDM customer policy there. And we have, let me see, there's several common policy for this encryption, firewall control, lock screen, yeah, as I mentioned. And you can add more if you want. There will come with many policy that you can use. Of course, there are different OS that have the OS API limitation, so you will have a different set of control. But anyway, you can create a device group and apply policy to them. So you can manage device from here, and also you can manage software. You can do add some Windows software from Windows Store, Microsoft Store, or Apple Store. Then you can deploy and update your software through JumpCloud. So for access, okay, so we have managed the credential identity, and we have user and groups, device management. Then how about other application integrations? So of course, if you have SSO applications, so you can want to do single sign-on integration, of course you can do, and you can have AI SaaS application management. So if there a third-party application, you can use JumpCloud to log in. Most of them are using SAML. So most of the application you can use like here. So you can add an application. You can choose, yeah. So there's so many applications that are built in. Actually, if your SaaS application is running SAML to authenticate, you can put it here as a new application. It's just a standard protocol. And also, if you want to do some LDAP, so we can have create a LDAP server, so which is a URL. This is all connection DN, and there's a address. Then you can connect with this LDAP server to do authentication. Most of the case is on the NAS that may still, or some legacy application that require LDAP integration. Then you can make use of the JumpCloud LDAP or network device. Of course, there's the very commonly used radius that on the network device, no matter VPN or some NAC, we can use radius to integrate them. Then we have a security control, which is a conditional access policy. As I mentioned, we can do the device trust, network trust, and many other policy like when we can do, what we can do, how we can access the application. All you can be controlled in this conditional access policy. And we have others like MFA configuration and others, many things. Okay, the last but not least is the one we call this directory insight. So here is the things that we do centralize, maybe this one, the centralized management on all the assets, so we can see who, when, what, and where to using your credential, no matter you log into JumpCloud portal, log in your M365, access your share drive on the NAS, or accessing your Salesforce or through our SMO authentication, all can be seen here. And we will send you alerts, and we can create reports that you can have some insight, like the command result or the many others report that will be here. Most of the account healthiness, or you can have a result to on those LDAP server. Yeah, you can run those report and also inventory set. So this is a very quick walkthrough for the JumpCloud platform. So it is intuitive and very easy to use platform that you can manage your user, your directory, your application, your device, all in single pane of glass. Okay, so let's go back to the slides. Let me check this. Okay, so let's sum up. So attackers are locked in because we let them do. It's not because they should able to do that. So we need to think about the identity is the new front line, further away from your SaaS or on-prem. So this is the first tier of the defense that you have to think of. MFA alone is not enough, is insufficient. Fragment identity creates a blind spot. So some attackers may sneak in because you didn't monitor that segment of authentication. So integrate centralized identity can close them. It help you to close the gap and see any suspicious activity more quickly and efficiently. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining. So let me see if any question from you guys. Go back to this first slide. Let me check. Okay. So someone asked if you can trial. Of course, you can contact us. We can arrange a POC with you, create a trial account of JumpCloud, and assist you to like integrate your directories, deploy the agents, and help you to do like how to do single sign on the applications, and how to monitor, how to do the device management, how to set up the conditional access or security posture of the device, and how to launch MFA. All can be done with a very quick few days POC period. The POC is 30 days, but I do think it can be done in first few days that you can and examine all those major features I shared and experience the benefits. Okay, so there's no further questions. Thank you very much for your joining today. Hope I can bring you some new ideas and how can help you to secure your environment or users or your company organizations. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye bye.